Mr. McEnroe, are you the father of the child here in this matter?
I believe so.
Do you have any reason to believe that you're not the father, sir?
Well, the whole reason we parted ways was because of our infidelities and cheating. So,
And is it your understanding that the other party to this case currently lives outside of the country?
Correct.
As it relates to the calculation of support, the state has calculated that the father shall pay a total of $387 per month for child support. Are you in agreement with this amount?
Yes,
And how does your child currently receive insurance? Is it through the state or through your employer?
through the state.
And based off of the non-custodial parent's income, the state is requesting that the father pays a total of $225 for medical support. Are you in agreement with this as well?
Yes,
Just one moment. And as it relates to retroactive support, are you requesting retroactive support for the child here in this matter?
yes,
Based off of the provided child support amount, the state is requesting retroactive support in the amount of, the state has calculated retroactive support in the amount of $22,446 and requesting that the father pays that back at $162 per month. Are you in agreement with that amount?
yeah.
And is it your understanding that the father is currently employed and making at or about $2,494.52 per month?
I know he's employed because he works, but I don't know about his income.
Do you have any reason to believe that information that has been provided is incorrect?
No.
As it relates to the conservatorship, are you in agreement to the parties to be named as joint managing conservators?
No,
Just explain to the court why you're not in agreement to the parties being named as joint managing conservators.
in August, it will have been 4 years since he's been gone. And as far as what happens with Zeppelin's schooling and medical, because he's autistic, so his medical needs, his schooling, his care, where we live and everything like that, I feel that I should have control over that.
Has there been any issues
And
relating
to
to
be
I'm sorry, ma'am. Has there been any issues relating to family violence between the parties?
No,
And are you requesting that there be no residency restriction as to where you and the child may reside?
correct, I am.
And are you in agreement to a standard possession order, which means that the father will have certain rights as it relates to the visitation with the child?
Not as the standard one, no, because we live in 2 different countries. And as I've said before, my child is autistic and also only forms relationships by people that he's around. So he is, even though in pictures like we say this is dad or whatever, he does not make the connection of who Charlie is. And so sending him away or anything like that I'm not on board with.
What type of visitation are you requesting that the father has with the child?
I'm cool, like if he comes here ever again, obviously I'm totally fine with him seeing him and being around him and everything like that. But aside from anything, I mean, virtual is pretty much the only option.
So just confirm, you're stating that you're just requesting that the father only has virtual visits with the child?
Well, no, I mean, if he comes back to the United States, like he can, see Zeppelin in person and have visitation in person. But so I guess, yes, as it stands right now, with him being in a different country, it would be virtual, would be the only option.
And do you find that this would be in the child's best interest that he only be allowed to have virtual visits with the father?
No, I think the child's best interest would be if his dad came back here and was in his life, but he's not doing that. So virtual would, I guess, be the second best thing, yes.
All right, do you have any additional information you'd like to offer to the court at this time?
No.
All right, nothing further from this party, Your Honor. At this time, Your Honor, the state would like to call the father in this matter. Sir, can I get you to state your name for the record?
Charlie McEnroe.
Mr. McEnroe, are you the father of the child here in this matter?
I believe so.
Do you have any reason to believe that you're not the father, sir?
Well, the whole reason we parted ways was because of our infidelities and cheating. So, who would know?
Did you request to take a DNA test, sir?
I did.
Did you perform the DNA test, sir?
I asked about 45 minutes ago. So, no.
How old is the child here in this matter, sir?
6.
In the past 6 years, have you taken a DNA test, sir?
Nope.
Is there any specific reason why you haven't had that performed in 6 years, sir?
Because I've not been there, as she just stated.
And again, sir, there's no other reason other than you just not living in the country that you did not have the test performed prior to today, even though the parties can be tested outside of the being in the same place at the same time.
No.
And as it relates to your income, sir, the state has used your income at you making at or about $2,494.52 per month for the calculation of support and requesting that you pay a total of $387 per month for child support. Are you in agreement with this amount, sir?
No.
Could explain to the court why you're not in agreement to pay support based off of your calculated income?
Because that seems like it's based off of before tax and not after. So I make roughly £1,700 after tax, and with added all of that in, that would leave about 1,000. And my partner is currently pregnant, about 7.5 months pregnant, and there'll be more money than I make to cover everything, period.
And as it relates to the medical support, the state has calculated you should pay a total of $225 for medical support based off of your income. Are you in agreement with this amount, sir?
I would say no, because I believe I could get it cheaper through my father and family.
And in the past, sir, have you attempted to get the child placed on the insurance prior to today?
No, because I had no idea this was a thing.
You had no idea that your child needed insurance?
That through me, yeah.
And what is the cost of that insurance, sir?
What do you mean?
What is the cost if you were to have the child covered? What would be the cost of the
I
insurance?
don't know yet, because that's not been brought to me.
And as it relates,
I know that my father would pay a lot less than 200 and X amount that you just said.
as it relates to the retroactive support, sir, have you provided any money to the mother for the support of the child within the past 4 years?
Yes.
How much is that, sir?
Much as I told that lady that I was speaking to earlier.
I don't know how much you told anybody else, sir. We're before the court today. I'm asking how much have you provided?
Okay, so roughly like 12.5, something like that.
12.5 what, sir?
I'm sorry, Mr. McEnroe, repeat what you just said, please. Mr. McEnroe, can you repeat what you just said?
What bit?
We didn't hear
How
your
much
answer,
did
Mr. McEnroy. You were asked how much you provided. You said 12, and your
I
audio
said
was
$12,500.
And how did you provide that amount to her, sir?
There was 2 separate tax returns that I should have received that were filed as a joint that I should have received half of, as we had always done throughout our partnership, which I gave to her in an event.
And when did that take place, sir?
Not last year, but the 2 years prior to that.
And just to confirm, you received a joint tax return, then you gave that money directly
She
to her?
received the joint tax return because she changed it to her bank details.
So you didn't provide it directly to her, is that correct?
Yeah, sure, if that's how you want to word it.
And as it relates to the conservatorship, are you requesting that the parties be named as joint managing conservators?
What does that mean?
Are you requesting that you and the other parties to this case be able to make decisions together there in the child's best
Well,
interest?
yeah, we should. If I'm going to be paying child support and blah, 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 then yes, I do.
And in the past, sir, have you been able to make decisions together with the mother as it relates to the child?
She has completely ignored me for multiple years now.
And as it relates to the last time you two had any dealings with each other, when did that take place, sir? Or communication between the parties?
Well, it's very sporadic. It could be every couple of months I'll get whatever, or I'll ask a question, but it's never, what's the word? Consecutively. It's always very broken up.
But you two filed taxes together, is that correct, sir?
She filed joint taxes, yes.
But you two have no communication, but you two.
I didn't say we
filed
had no
taxes.
communication. I said we speak sporadically and when we have to.
So you two spoke about you two filing taxes together?
Yes, we had.
And just to confirm, was that 2 years ago? So that would have been in 2021?
Not last year, but the year prior to that and the second prior to that.
I need you to provide me what years you're speaking about, sir.
So let's say 2020. So that's not this one, not last. 2022. No, 21 and 20. No, 20 and 21. Sorry. And then 22, I believe she filed separately.
And as it relates to the residency restriction, the mother has requested that there be no residency restriction as to where she and the child may reside. Are you in agreement with this, sir?
That's fine. Yeah.
And as it relates to the visitation, are you requesting standard visitation?
Yes.
And do you find that that would be in the child's best interest?
Well, that's how it should be, isn't it?
Again, sir, do you find that would be in the child's
Yes.
best interest? And sir, when was the last time you had any visitation with the child?
The last time I was in the country, so nearly 4 years ago. She's absolutely refused any access.
All right, nothing further from this party unit.
Mr. McEnroy, what country do you live in?
United Kingdom.
Okay, so that's what, about 6 hours difference time?
Exactly 6 hours.
Okay.
Yes, it's
If
6 at the minute.
Ms. McEnroy, Is the child in school?
Yes.
What time does the child get out of school?
We get out of school at 4 p.m.
What time does he get home?
Roughly 10-15 minutes after that, depending on traffic and how many people are in the line to pick their children up.
Okay, so you're at home with him around by 5 p.m. maybe?
Yeah. There's always the weekends when he isn't in school.
Mr. McElroy, I don't know about your work hours. Are you available to do
I make time
telephone
where I need
visitation?
to.
Let me finish my question, sir.
Sorry, I thought you had.
I hadn't finished talking.
It went quiet on my end, sorry.
All right, so what I was saying was, are you available for a telephone visitation, which would be Dallas time around 5 p.m., which I guess will put us around 11 p.m. where you are?
Yeah, I will make time where I need to, on top of always being available.
Okay, all right. Let me go ahead and make my ruling. Child support obviously has to be paid. We have a child here. You have not done an order. I don't think y'all, I'm guessing y'all haven't done a divorce, so we haven't done
Not
anything
yet.
regarding the child. I'm only dealing with issues that are involving the child only, not anything regarding to property or divorce. So that would be something you would have to do later on. If you decide to get divorced, you need to make sure that you include and tell the judge at that point that there's a court order for child support already, so that we don't have any confusion as to whether there be two child support orders. We don't want that to happen. So make sure that y'all inform the judge at that point about that. Child support based on your wages is $387. It is based on your net income, your bring home income. Unfortunately, I don't have the numbers for what you would get paid in the United Kingdom as far as what you pay in taxes. So we're just applying that chart based on what you would pay if you were in the United States. So that would kind of be a bring home pay. It's not the $24.94, it's a lower number that they use to calculate your support. I cannot include any other children that you may have that are not born yet as to part of the calculation of support. Neither one of you have private insurance available to you at a reasonable cost. I understand you're going to ask that your father do that. I don't know what country he lives in. That may or
Yours.
may not work. Please do not talk while I'm talking. That may or may not work because he lives in a different area than Miss McElroy. It probably won't work. It probably won't work for a grandparent either. So I'd have to pretty much say that y'all don't have insurance that's available for Miss McElroy to use where she resides with the child. So the state's going to provide the government medical support. There's been no request for a finding of family violence. Obviously, there's no geographic restrictions since y'all don't live near each other. Normally, if y'all lived in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, then I would restrict the mother to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But since y'all live in different countries, that's not really necessary. So we're not doing a geographic restriction. If y'all are this far apart, as far as just distance alone, besides any other issues you may have, I don't think it's probably best for y'all to be joint managed conservators. Not just mainly just because of distance. That's really the main thing. It's not so easy to have that information. And that's not even considering anything else. So just, it's not practical that y'all be joint managing conservators because of the distance. That's really the main thing why I'm deciding that. It has nothing to do, I can go further into detail as to anything else, but that's enough for me to say, okay, it's not going to work. Not that y'all don't want it to work, but it just isn't going to work because y'all live so far away from each other. I hate to do big judgments, but it doesn't sound like you've given her much money. Retroactive judgment of $22,446 is due for the last 4 years. You're not getting charged for the other two. Payable at $162 a month. I am ordering a standard visitation order, but part of the standard visitation order is that you come to Texas to pick up the child. And if you don't do that, then you don't get visitation. That's what the standard visitation order is. But I want to tailor your visitation a little bit since you are out of the country. I do believe it's in the child's best interest to visit with the father. So what we're going to do is have telephone visitation 2 Thursdays a month, the first and third Thursdays of each month. It'll be Texas time, 5 p.m. to 5:30. So 30 minutes of telephone visitation. Ms. McElroy, you have to facilitate turning on the FaceTime with Mr. McElroy. Mr. McElroy will reach out to you and just make sure you ensure that the child is able to hold the phone. And I would prefer, of course, that you not be in the room with him, Ms. McElroy, that he can have visitation alone for the 30 minutes. I don't know if it needs to be the whole 30 minutes. If it works out okay, that's fine. But being that, I mean, we have to look at this as in a practical manner, that y'all don't live near each other, so it's not going to be very practical or cheap for Mr. McElroy to do a lot of visitation. But I do want to make sure that the child knows him and can hopefully have some kind of conversation with him. I know he has maybe some special needs, and that will be a little more difficult, but that may mean that we need more time, not less time. So let's not try to limit it as much as we, again, of course, if it's a 6-year-old, regardless of any special needs. So y'all are going to have to kind of work with each other on that. It is important that father have time to be with the child, and that may be the only practical way for that to happen. So again, it'll be the first and third Thursdays at 5 p.m. Mr. McElroy, you're going to FaceTime or Zoom. Zoom is free all across the world. I think that'd be a great resource y'all can use. Whichever resource you want to use, Mr. McElroy, please inform the mother what you intend to do. If you want to do Zoom, it might be easier to have a laptop than it is to hold a phone. Y'all can work out those details, but I am ordering the telephone visitation. I think that handles all of our issues. The Attorney General's office will draft an order for me to sign and then email y'all a copy. Please read the order, make sure you understand what it is that it says, and hopefully that will work out a lot better for y'all in the future. All right, y'all. Yes, Mr. Tatum.
Yes, Your Honor. Just to clarify, the virtual was approved as requested. I just want to confirm the amount payable is at 162 or 165.
I heard you say 162 in the testimony, so that's what I ordered.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do y'all have any quick questions before I let y'all go?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Can we not do weekends instead of Thursdays? Would that not make more sense? The schedules.
What day is better for you? Saturday?
Well, the weekend would be better just because it's outside of working. I drive 2 hours each way.
So same time, but Saturdays?
It can be earlier if you want. I don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with it
Saturday,
being either.
Yeah, we gotta talk one at a time. I know, but it's hard. But we gotta talk.
I know.
Ms. McElroy, is Thursday? I'm sorry. Instead of Thursday, Saturday at 5 o'clock work for you?
I can't promise Saturday at 5 o'clock. We have extracurricular activities with my oldest. I can do, he and I can work it out to any time during the week, and that works well for both of us, but I can't promise that time.
Okay, well, I need you to promise because I'm putting it in the court order and you have to meet the promise. That's why I did Thursday, because y'all are in a stable place. You shouldn't have extracurricular activity. You said you're going to be home by that time, and Mr. McElroy has to stay. Please do not talk while I'm talking. I don't know why both y'all don't understand that. I'm trying to explain to you and you're not listening. We have to be somewhat respectful that Mr. McElroy has to go to bed at night. There's a 6-hour time difference. I understand that y'all have busy weekends. That's why I didn't pick a Saturday, because 5 o'clock on a Saturday, usually I'm going to get groceries or doing something. That's why I picked a Thursday. Mr. McElroy is asking for a weekend, which I completely understand. He may go to bed before 11 on Thursday night. I don't know what time he goes into work. I cannot work on a maybe. We've had a maybe as a problem. Maybe has been a problem. Mr. McElroy has not been able to do that because of too many maybes. And it's a two-way street. I'm not just blaming you, Ms. McElroy, but y'all haven't been able to reach an agreement. So I'm trying to figure out, I'm okay with changing the date. Mr. McElroy made a reasonable request that we change it to a different day on a weekend. I can't go on a maybe. So Ms. McElroy, can you do Saturday? You said Saturday you can't. Can you do Sunday?
I can do a Sunday morning.
Okay. What time do you suggest?
Around like 10, 11 a.m., whichever you want to write in the docket.
Sunday at 11 a.m.? We should,
that works for me.
Mr. McElroy, does that work for you?
Yep.
Okay, I'm okay with that. That sounds makes sense.
Right, sorry, was that 11 a.m. your time?
Say that again?
Was that 11
a.m.
US time?
11 a.m. Dallas time.
So 5 p.m. me.
Yeah, that makes it a little more reasonable.
Yeah, I'm up very early for work and I drive 2 hours as well. So 11 o'clock, I'm usually dead in bed.
11, okay, yeah. 11 p.m. you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, I understand. We watch soccer over here and it's the morning, but it's for y'all, it's nighttime. So.
Oh, believe me, I lived there for 11 years and I woke up at 5 in the morning just to watch the noon game.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So first and third Sundays at 11 a.m. Dallas time. So it'd be every other Sunday. Anything else before I let y'all go?
No.
Okay,
Not for me.
okay, then y'all, we're done with your court case. They will email you a copy of the order. Make sure the AG, the Attorney General's office, has your email address so they can send that to you. That should answer any further questions that may come up after we leave today. Y'all are
Cool.
done with court. You can press leave on the Zoom to exit out. Thank you.